What if I told you that the way you're thinking about Pareto's principle is completely wrong? Hey, what's up? I'm John Doherty, founder of EditorNinja. Today, I want to talk with you about a little bit different of a topic. A lot of people ascribe to the idea that you get 80% of the results from 20% of the activity. And what they take that to mean is you just do a lot of things and you kind of don't know what's actually going to work. And you're going to get 80% of results from 20% of what you do. The other 80% is just wasted, but that's okay because you're still getting 80% of the results. It's kind of the, I know half of my advertising budget is wasted, I just don't know which half sort of thinking. I don't really ascribe to that, to be completely honest with you. Now, I've definitely wasted a lot of effort over the years, as we all have. But as I've dug more into Pareto's principle, what I've realized is that actually he's not talking about just 20% of effort. He's talking about the 20% that actually matters. Now, that may sound like the same thing, but it's actually not. And that's what I'm going to show you today. To really get into this, we need to talk about averages. So what is average? Average is 50%. It means 50% of people or effort is better than you, and it means that 50% is worse than you. So you're right there in the middle. But what's the difference between being the 50th percentile of something, aka average, and being in the 80th percentile of something? It's the difference between me at 5'9" and my brother-in-law at 6'2". So there are certain things that I'm going to be better at. For example, I have a lower center of gravity, and so I'm a better skier. I've also been skiing for a lot longer, so that puts me even higher in the percentile for skiers. But for basketball, it means he's going to be better at it because he's got an extra 5 inches on me. I might be a little bit faster, but he's got the reach. But when it comes to something like marketing or building a business, we can think about it in a similar way. So if you're in the 50th percentile, right here, you're going to do okay. You're going to get some results, you're going to drive some business, but it's never going to dramatically outperform. If you're at the 80th percentile, you're going to get a lot more results because you're just that much better. Now, if we get up to 90% or 95% or 98%, these percentages become so hard to get. Going from 0 to 40%, really, really easy. 0 to 50%, really, really easy. 10 to 20 hours of effort, which a lot of people just don't do. So if you put that in, you're going to be better than over half of the people in the world. Great. But in order to get to 60%, 70%, 80%, those of you coming from the SEO world, think about it like Moz's domain authority. Really easy to go from 0 to 40, 0 to 45, but to get to 60, 65, 70, 80, 90, right? 95, we're talking the strongest of the strong websites. It takes a lot of effort. It takes being online a long time. It takes being talked about a lot. All of those things. It's a ton more effort to go from 80 to 90 or 90 to 100 or 80 to 100 than to go from 30 to 40. So what is the 20% that Pareto is actually talking about? Or we could even think about it like 90-10. You get 90% of the results from 10% of the effort. Is it just 10% of the things that you do? I don't think so. I think it's actually that final 10% of polish, which is what a lot of people don't do. So they put in 90% of the effort and they're just getting some results, right? They're getting 10% of the results, but they don't do that final 10% because that is the work that really matters. That is the work that really moves the needle, and it's the stuff that's really hard to do. And most people, quite honestly, just don't have that skill, which is why most people's results stay pretty average. So as you're thinking about the stuff that really matters, the stuff that's actually going to get you that 90%, think about what other people avoid. What is the hard work that they actually avoid? Is it taking 2 more hours to edit a video? Is it taking more time during their day or during their week to produce more content? Is it actually picking up the phone and calling those leads? These are the things that people put off because other stuff is a lot easier and they enjoy a lot of stuff a lot more. But these are the things that most people don't do. And so if you are willing to do them, you're willing to do that extra 10% that they quite simply are not, you're going to get so many more results than them because you are actually willing to do the hard work. I'm saying a lot of this to myself because I know that I avoid the hard work as well, but I'm also increasingly becoming convinced and I'm seeing that the hard work is what actually changes the game. So when I was first starting off in digital marketing, I started my website, johnfdoherty.com, which I don't post on much anymore. But back in the day, single, living in New York City, no kids, no responsibilities. All I did was work, basically. It's a lot harder once you have kids, trust me. On that website, I posted every single Tuesday and Thursday for 2.5 years. I also was tweeting. I was involved in the SEO community. I was writing on various websites, on Distilled, on Moz, places like that. Whenever someone reached out from any of those sites and they were like, hey, we don't have a blog post ready to go. Does anyone have something? I would raise my hand. I'd be like, yo, I got you. That's me. I jumped on those opportunities, and that is why I was able to build my name so much. And I've been riding those coattails for a long time. Now I'm realizing that was the extra 10% that people didn't put in, because I would go home, I'd crack open a bottle of wine, and I'd write a blog article. I'd work hard. I would learn new stuff. I remember sitting up late at night and messaging a friend of mine and being like, hey, I can't crack this JavaScript, but I need this in order to make this blog article work. And they would help me and I would learn. And next time I didn't need as much help. But that was the extra 10% that people were not willing to put in. So I hope this helps you understand Pareto's principle a little bit better, and hopefully it's changing the way that you think about it and the way that you think about the work that you're doing. Pareto's principle is not talking about that you get 80% of the results from some random 20% of the effort that you put in. It's the final 20%, or even it's the final 10%, which gets you 90% of the results. And that is the work that others are avoiding. And if you can stop avoiding that and actually step into that, that's the real work. If you can actually step into that, you're going to see a lot more results. All right, y'all. I hope that helps. John Doherty from EditorNinja. I'm out of here.